All right. That's funny. I hope everyone saw that. We're live now. Good shit. I don't know
Are
what's
we back?
happening. Yeah, it should be up right now.
I don't know. I mean, yeah, okay, we're back. Sorry
Yeah.
about that, guys. We're having technical gremlins like no other today.
I don't know what's going on. Like, OBS was literally at 0 kilobits per second for no reason. All right, hold on. Where were we? I mean, okay. Uh,
We were talking about your Forerunner in the snow versus your GTI.
oh yeah. So like the Forerunner, that thing was fucking sick. Like, I never plowed out a spot throughout all of college, and we had like, multiple foot plus snowstorms, and tons of these kids who had like, an old Camry or Civic or something like that. Like they couldn't even get out. I just put it into 4 low and just drove into it or drove out of it, no problem. I don't if it's ever back. I don't know
Yeah, if
what
we
the
can get
fuck is
back.
happening. I'm pissed. I'm so pissed.
I know, me too. This was my time to shine on the podcast, man.
Dude, I'm so sorry. I don't know what is happening. Like I
It's not your fault, man. I'm not mad at you.
No, I
I'm
think
mad
I
at
think
the
my
internet.
internet's shitting its pants. I don't know why it's doing this. Anyway,
Okay, I think we're back.
yeah. So the Forerunner, I mean that was a really good car. It was a very reliable car, obviously, but I wanted something faster and I still get better fuel economy, like I actually save money.
Yeah.
Uh
And dude, I mean, for the most part, front wheel drive is fine in the snow, dude. Like, I drove my Mazda through a bunch of
yeah,
snow.
I have no problems driving my GTI. Yeah, it's a 6 speed Autobahn. It's pretty fucking tight. And it's also never had a check engine light ever.
I don't
Funny
believe
how
it.
that works.
Bullshit.
I mean, my water pump exploded, but that was a recalled part. It's a recalled
Or
part, or whatever they call it, service bulletin part. So, yeah, it got replaced with the bulletproof fix. It's fine.
sweet.
Yeah, I
Okay.
I I love my car. It's sweet. I really want to get like a Mark 7R though. Those things are fucking awesome.
All right. Let me
Those
find another topic to talk about. Okay. Here's one. So, I mean, obviously, the first car cliche we're not going to do because that's lame. Everyone does first cars. But what we're going to talk about first project car. What did you have?
that was my Miata.
Hmm.
That thing was a piece. 1991 5 speed. Uh, yeah, I thought it only needed a little bit of stuff, but it turned out that it was a short nose crank, and the crank kind of was disintegrating. Uh,
Okay.
so that was good. The engine was toast. I tried to source engine, and they just were like the prices and how long it would take to swap it just never was worth it, so I just sold it for like a huge loss. But like the first thing I did do it, I replaced the top because the previous owner, like it was a ripped top, but the previous owner like had bought it to change it but never did. So I did that, and that only took 5 fucking hours, so that was absolutely horrendous.
Yeah.
God,
God, soft tops are a pain.
dude,
My
fuck.
first project car, also a Mazda. I had a 1980 Mazda RX-7,
Dude,
and
nice.
you want to talk about nightmares, dude? Holy shit! So this car, it was dirt cheap. Like that's why I bought it. It was like $300 on Craigslist, and me and my dad got it because it had been stored for a while, and the dude said it was smoking. But like, what'll happen a lot with those first gen RX-7s is like the apex seals will collapse,
Yeah.
and you can kind of bring them back to life by just like redlining them around for a little while.
Was that a
So
12A?
yeah, 12A.
Yeah, those things are pretty sick.
So I bought it, and like me and my dad went halves on it because we were gonna flip it, but like me being 16 and dumb, like as soon as I saw it, I like fell in love with it. I never told him, but I had a plan. Like we were gonna get it running, and then I was gonna buy him out of it, and I was gonna 13B swap it, and it was gonna be sick. But we bought it, and this we show up. This dude he claims he has the title, but it's at his mom's house or whatever.
Oh
And
no.
16-year-old naive ass me believed in, and it had been like wrecked in the front, and there was no ignition tumbler. Like you started it with a screwdriver.
Oh, it was
So
new.
like, yeah, and no title, so it was probably stolen. But
Probably or definitely?
definitely stolen. But stupid little 16-year-old Colin loved the car. I was like, oh, we got to get this. It's only $300. Like it's gonna be so sick. And so we bought it, and we actually did some good work to it. Like we replaced all the damaged panels on it. We redid all the brakes and put like new bushings in it and stuff. And then we finally got it to start, dude, and it just would not stop smoking. And I'm pretty sure it had a bad side seal, not a
Yeah.
bad apex seal.
Yeah, and those
So
don't really pop out with a red line. That's like rebuild territory.
yeah, exactly. So it was like, all we can really do is we eventually sold it for like $400, lost a bunch of money on it, but it was what it was. Like it was cool. I mean, I want another first gen RX-7.
Yeah, I like RX-7s a
I think
lot.
we lost the stream again.
I don't think we did. It still says it's running.
Oh, okay. No, it's just my internet being retarded now.
Yeah, it says I'm at like 800 kilobits a second, so I think we're good.
Okay.
No,
Cool.
I mean I really do like RX-7s. I think they're cool. You really do have to deal with the bullshit that is a rotary, but at the same time, I think a rotary, is actually not that bad of an engine to rebuild. I've never done it, but like I've looked at it, I've seen it. I'm looking at all of the all of the moving parts, how few there are. Like it seems like it would be pretty easy to rebuild. I don't know what like costs of parts are though at all.
Yeah, I don't really either. And like, there's one dude that I was with who kind of knew about rotaries, and he said like he would help me rebuild it if I wanted to. But like, I didn't really even know that much about piston engines at the time. I was 16. Like I knew a little bit, but I would not have been good at rebuilding one. And like now, I've rebuilt a few engines, and if I had that car now, I would probably be more ready to take it on. But at the time, it was just more than I could handle for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah. I mean, like with my Miata, like yeah, the thing was a piece. Like it was absolutely fucked, and I knew it was an engine problem. So at that point, you know, I fucking hated the car. I sold it for a gigantic loss. Like whatever. I pretty much never want to own one again. But at the same time, it did give me a chance to kind of learn some things, to do some things. Like I did a good amount of stuff like with the head and shit like that. Like I learned a good amount on it, and maybe one of the biggest things I feel like I learned is I learned to just like don't be afraid to do something, because it's probably not honestly that bad. Like the worst part I feel about fixing anything in a car is diagnosing it. That's like the absolute worst part. And then the second worst part is getting to the thing that you have to replace. Like actually doing a lot of the stuff isn't that difficult, I feel.
Yeah, no, like honestly, rebuilding an engine is daunting, but like as long as you have a service manual or whatever in front of you, it tells you to do everything.
Yeah, it's daunting. It's a lot of work. It's not fun, but I think
I think it's fun.
I
I actually really enjoy rebuilding engines.
I mean, I do think that the biggest roadblock is never ability, but more of a mindset. I think
Yeah, definitely.
a lot of it is you just have to, get to the point that you're comfortable enough to say, all right, you know what? I might fuck this up, but I can probably fix it. And
Yeah, and I mean, especially if it's a project car, like if you fuck it up, you just take it back apart and do it again.
yeah,
It,
yeah, that's like the great thing. You can always do shit like that, or you kind of come down to, well, maybe you need to plan out a project that the costs of a little bit more. If you're doing something like a Civic or whatever, you can go get a Civic engine for dirt cheap any day of the week.
Yeah, or a rebuild kit, or
Or a
like,
rebuild
dude,
kit. Yeah, you know
that's
parts for
why
that
I
super cheap.
love my Civic or my CRX, because I don't think parts have ever been cheaper for any car except maybe like small block Chevy stuff.
Yeah, I mean, like, if you have a car where you can, like, literally hop on Rock Auto and buy any suspension component for, like, 30 bucks, you know, you're probably at a pretty reasonable project car. Yeah, that's a good point. Pizza Dick. I like that name. But yeah, that as if it's not a daily, like, you got time to finish it, and that's kind of another one of the reasons why I don't want to daily an older car, because like
Yeah,
I
well,
need to be able to get somewhere always.
most of the time that I've been dailying, and one of them would be getting fixed while I was driving the other one.
Yeah, no, that's definitely fair, and that's like kind of what some of my buddies do is they just like have enough cars that like, well, one of them has to work.
Yeah, that's literally what I was doing.
Yeah, my
Okay,
buddy.
the alternator went out on the Datsun, so I'm driving the Supra, and then, oh man, the Supra wrecked into a curb. Good thing I just finished replacing the alternator on the
Yeah,
Datsun.
my
Like,
buddy. My buddy who's a huge Mopar. He's a huge Mopar butthurt, or dick rider, I guess. And
yeah,
so he owns. God, he owns an Omni. He owns two Rampages. He owns two Shelby Chargers. He owns a Saturn, like the plastic car, but like that's because all of his fucking Mopars broke. Uh, and then he also owns two Cudas. And
okay,
up until he had to get the Saturn, he's basically had a rotation of Mopars that he could actually like drive at all points, because they're honestly pretty simple to eat. The L bodies are super super simple. They're basically like, Mark II Golfs or whatever, like very simple old cars, whatever. But the funny thing is that the reason he had to get the Saturn is because he manual swapped his Omni. The Omni ran and drove perfectly fine. It was a shitty 4-speed auto. Oh no, actually it's a 3-speed auto. Awful,
nah,
awful auto, right? But the thing ran, it drove fine. Like, yeah, it had problems, but he also bought it for $400. He swapped in a manual from one of his Rampages that he's eventually scrapping or getting rid of because he's building the other one as a nice one. And that transmission just completely grenaded itself within like 20 miles.
oh god,
So
dude, that's kind of
he's the reason that his car
me
broke.
like that. Well, I mean, I didn't like swap the Camry but like I got the Camry because like and then 200 had like terminally low compression on 3 cylinders. So I was like, well, I need a daily that's not going to break on me. And then I got the Camry, and the fucking transmissions just are dying faster than I can get them, dude. I've pulled a Camry transmission 4 times this summer.
God, that's awful.
Yeah.
Did you do
I
you
mean,
just
I don't know.
drop do you just drop the subframe?
Yeah, you have to, dude. It can't come out if you don't drop you have to at least like halfway drop it.
I'm assuming you got it down pretty good by now.
The last one I did yesterday took me 2 hours.
I don't think that's that. Did you have help, or was that by yourself?
No, that was by myself in a junkyard.
I think that's pretty good, like hand tools and shit. Like that's pretty
Yeah,
impressive.
yeah,
Yeah, that's
yeah.
yeah, that's I mean with having projects and stuff like that though. Yeah, I think you kind of got to figure out where your time and money's going. You got
Yeah,
to, you got to know what your limit is, and I think almost everyone has to buy a shitty project that's way over their head to learn that limit, and then learn and slowly build up from there.
yeah. And I mean, with the Camry, dude, like, I'm done. Like, if this one doesn't work, I don't care.
Yeah, fucking drive
I'm,
it
I'm,
drive
I'm,
it to a scrapyard. Who gives a shit?
yeah, because I'm not putting another transmission in that. It's so much work.
It sounds awful. Yeah, we have to swap the engine on our Mustang, but like as you said, yeah, it's like probably well, with all of us, it's definitely less than 2 hours because it's literally the same thing as an Accord. It's a transverse, V6. We just
Yeah,
drop the subframe out. We take the engine out, swap it over, and that's it. Um, It's pretty nice because we do have like an engine hoist hook in the back of the car, so we can literally just like lift the car body off of the subframe that we drop.
Oh, that's pretty sick.
Yeah, it's pretty nice. But yeah, so we have that. That's pretty easy, and obviously we picked the engine because they're dirt fucking cheap too. So we got cheap parts and shit, but you know our car's awful.
Nah, your car, dude. Honestly, like your car's one of the, well, maybe not one of the cooler Lemons cars, but it's a cool Lemons car. It's a lot cooler than people showing up with stock E30s with a shitty theme.
Yeah, I mean that's like kind of a thing is that they really do want people to bring unique and weird cars, and you know that's kind of what we tried to do, and if we didn't have Alex on our team, it wouldn't have happened because he's the evil genius of it all. And
yeah, like that must have taken a lot of work to get in.
We started in September, and our first race we made was the next October.
Yeah, like that's not a easy task to just put a completely different subframe in a car from what it came with.
No, it was an absolute shitload of work, and I mean Alex is great. He's good at fab work. He's good at welding. Like he welded the cage and everything, and so we didn't have to go to a cage builder. We didn't have to spend the money on that, and we didn't have to spend the time on that. But God, that was a shitload of work, and it's still like weird. It has weird handling shit, so we'll hopefully get there.
Yeah, I imagine it does. Like it's probably heavier in the back now than the front, I'm sure.
Yeah, it's about 65, I think, which is it's around what like 911s are. It's not that bad of a weight distribution, honestly. And we haven't even like fully lightened stuff up, so we still have some room to lighten stuff up. I think the trunk is like almost completely like stock at this point, so we can lose a few pounds here and there.
Too big.
Nah, I don't even think you can. I don't even think you can in Lemons because you have to keep the original crash structure.
Yeah, well, like with I know with drifting, like a lot of it, they say you can tube it from the outside of like the suspension towers.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think you can in Lemons.
In Lemons, they want you to retain the original crash structure. So like,
yeah,
if I could buy the 302 SX for like $5, like I couldn't race it in Lemons because it's tube front end.
Yeah, and I mean, you know, regardless, like having a partial tube frame is really against the spirit of Lemons, I think.
Dude, totally. Spirit of Lemons is something like this. I'll get the picture.
I'm not watching the stream right now.
I'm putting it in Discord. This is literally the spirit of Lemons.
Oh yeah.
That's Speedy Cop, by the way. That guy, like seriously.
That's on a Toyota minivan frame, right?
I think it's a truck, but that Speedy Cop. If you guys have not seen any of Speedy Cop's builds, you need to follow him. Even if you hate Lemons, like this guy is a fucking psycho genius. He did the Spirit of Lemons.
He did the upside down Camaro, right?
He did the upside down Camaro, which was on Jay Leno. He did the sideways Volkswagen bus. He did like a helicopter. What else has he done? He's done so many things. I can't even remember everything he did.
He did the Thunderbird with like the downdraft, right?
You cut out there. What did you say? Thunderbird with what?
He did, like his first build was like a Thunderbird with a BMW V12 in it, running off like an Edelbrock 4-barrel carb.
Maybe, I don't know. He did a Caravan. He did a Donk. He did.
Oh, I remember the Donk.
Oh, he did the fucking, what was it called? The thing from. What's this movie called? This guy.
Oh, the National Lampoon.
Yeah, National Lampoon. Yeah, I couldn't think of the name for whatever reason. He did that. Yeah, he's done so much stuff. He did a like a hot dog cart or something. He did a fucking helicopter, like a legitimate helicopter.
He is a true mad genius
and that's
automotive work.
That spirit of Lemons like was legitimately a Cessna. Like that is an airplane, and it's road legal. He registers it as an RV.
Oh my god.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did a Reliant Regal for the Lemons Rally a few years back, and like he did the entire tail of the dragon in a Reliant Regal.
Oh my god.
And a 3-wheeler, he did the fucking tail of the dragon. Like it's ridiculous what this guy's done. He's an absolute genius. Here, this is a picture of the inside of that sideways van. This is what is underneath.
Is that a caddy?
It's a cabbie. It's a cabriolet.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So it looks like it had a roof. That's like, yeah, man. He does some wild stuff.
He did this,
Yeah.
it's not Lemons legal, but he also built this. He's a fucking genius. Like, I love that. I've talked with him on Facebook before. He's a really, really cool dude. Yeah.
Yeah. Man, yeah. I'll get into lemons at some point in my life. Just right now, drifting is kind of my main focus.
Yeah,
When
the thing
I get
is,
tired of drifting, I'm either going to start autocrossing again or do lemons.
yeah, the thing is with Lemons now is that starting next year, you have to have a fire suppression system, so that really does kind of push more people out. And I know you can kind of complain and be like, oh, they need to get back to their roots or whatever, but you know,
They can't.
we're really
in
like
this day and age.
yeah, we're really, really skirting like the line of safety laws right now.
Oh, dude, believe me, as someone who like drifting skirts safety, it's like you would never believe, man. Like
Yeah.
it's insane the shit you can get away with in drifting. Like you can do a lot of pro-am you can do in a t-shirt and shorts.
Yeah, and I think a lot of that, like autocross, rallycross, stuff like that, it's kind of skewed people's perceptions of what you need to do. I'm gonna say air quotes real racing, you know, wheel to wheel racing, stuff like that. You know, you need a cage, you need a fire extinguisher, you need a bucket seat, you need, you know, all of this stuff.
Yeah, and it can't be like eBay junk bucket, like you can real one.
Yeah.
That's approved by the FIA, you know?
Yeah, everything has to be legitimate. And so yeah, if you ever do lemons though, like the entry price is definitely getting higher. It sucks, but it's what it is, and they're still fucking filling out races, so I guess they don't give a shit.
Yeah, and I mean, you know, like I'm about to have like my so like and on lemons you have like a whole team to kind of spread the cost through. It's much cheaper than like trying to go club racing.
Yeah, no, definitely. All right, you know what? Why don't we try wrapping this up? We've been doing this for a while.
All right. Well, thanks for having me on, man. It was fun toast. I'm always down to come on the podcast whenever you need.
Nah, dude, this was fun. This was good. The technical difficulties really fucked our ass here, and yeah, I'm pissed about it. Yeah, Lemons Australia and Lemons New Zealand, I think because it's so new down there, they're kind of being a little more lax, and obviously laws are different there, so I don't know. But yeah, I think we're good here. There really wasn't a lot to talk about in HGEU this week, because there really hasn't been that much fucking happening. Has Orion even made a video this week? I don't even think he has.
Was Starbucks coffee this week or last week?
I think that was last week.
No, vodka. Vodka was.
Oh, it was vodka.
We're gonna have to talk about vodka for a minute here.
I didn't watch it.
Dude, I mean,
Did it work?
As you would expect, running off 80 proof vodka did not work because it's more water than alcohol. But
Yeah.
they got Chow drunk as fuck.
Well,
Chow was pounding shots, dude.
well, you know what? Good for Chow. I don't know. Like, I don't know how. I mean, it's my problem with these viral videos. It's not that they do viral videos. I don't give a shit. Like, whatever. I don't fucking care what Orion does. It's the fact that, like,
effort, dude.
they're doing so many that, like, you fucking know isn't gonna work. Like, you know.
Clearly coffee is not gonna work as oil.
Clearly. That's the same as putting water in there. You know it's not gonna work. You know, 80 proof vodka. That's literally more water than it is alcohol. Like, you know that will not work. At least, like...
Well, Orion probably does not know.
Yeah.
Anyone with half a brain knows
Yeah.
that will not work.
All right. I guess that's a good point to end it. We're ending it shitting on Orion once again because that's everything he fucking deserves.
Ryan.
Everything he fucking deserves. All right. So it was great to have you, man. Thank everyone for watching. I'm sorry that everything technically went to hell and back and that it was late, but this has been a shit day, man. Shit's gone fucked.
Plug your YouTube real quick.
Yeah, check out the Dead Horse Beaters. I haven't uploaded anything in fucking forever because I'm a deadbeat loser, but I'll hopefully have some more shit. And I race next weekend, so I'll have more race shit then. And
good luck.
Oh yeah, it'll be fun. And you plug yourself, I guess.
I am on YouTube. We're doing live streams that are shitty. I'm gonna try and start getting some drifting.
Aw, Corn, you keep cutting out, bud.
Okay, let me try one more time.
Try again.
Workshop Obscura on YouTube. I'm doing some terrible live streams, and I'm moving next week. So once I get moved and start drifting again, I'm gonna try and put out some drift vlogs. And you can follow me on Instagram. It's at Colin Likes Dotsons, 2 L's in Colin.
All right, cool shit. All right, guys, thanks. Thanks everyone who watched. Thanks, Corn, for being here. And hopefully next week's a little smoother. This is kind of bullshit. All right, see you guys.